Hey, entrepreneurs, are you trying to make bigger profits in your small business? If you're like most of us business owners, increasing your profitability is always on your mind. And you're probably looking for ways to grow your revenue while growing your company. Well, you found a podcast that shares ideas to help you do just that. I'm Marcia Rudner. I'm a business growth strategist, and I've helped tons of small business owners to establish and implement a tangible plan that guarantees increased profitability, guides your growth, and plans for your future exit. Because building a highly profitable and sale-ready business creates a win-win scenario. That's more money now and a windfall when it's time to let go. And I want to share strategies that I've learned with you on today's Profit with a Plan podcast. But before we get started, I wanted to share a really powerful training that I have going on. It's called the 30-Day Profit Booster. This is where I can help you find a 45% boost in net profits in just 30 days. I know it sounds fantastic, but it's simply by following a 3-step method that doesn't require that you're chasing more customers. This quick and easy profit boosting strategy can be done without spending more on marketing, hiring additional staff, or working longer hours. Go check it out. It's a free training at 30dayprofitbooster.com for more information. All right. So speaking of numbers, I've got my guest with me today. I'm really excited for it, Jeff Rudner. He is the co-founder and COO of Proseer. Jeff is an accounting and financial expert with a passion for helping companies understand their own financial strategy. After graduating from the University of Florida, he launched his career in audit at the Big Four accounting firm, where he developed key skills and knowledge to identify areas of improvement, build forecast models, and support M&A transactions. Then he moved on to become the CFO of a rapidly growing startup where he was able to bring his expertise and insights into building the internal financial structure processes and supporting a nationwide rollout. Jeff has dedicated himself to sharing his financial knowledge with the market through Proseer, an expert accounting and finance and tax solution consultancy that offers customized solutions to businesses of any size. As an engaging consultant, Jeff inspires clients to make informed decisions that strategically boost their bottom line. Welcome, Jeff, to Profit with a Plan.
Thanks so much, Marcia. Great to be here.
Yeah, so we've had some conversations offline that have been really exciting. But before we get rolling into the topic for today, I always like to ask how people started in their career and really what was the reason they went into that lane. And we know that accounting and finance right now is kind of a dwindling area of expertise. It's getting really hard to find people to staff those positions. What drew you into that?
Accounting and finance for me was always the language of business. And I knew that I had a passion for business. I knew that I wanted to be a businessman. My family was a family of business people. And so when I went to school, the school I went to had a great accounting program, and I wanted to understand finance and I wanted to understand business. And the only way to do it is to really understand the inputs. And so I studied accounting with the idea that I'd use my knowledge in accounting to help set strategy in the future. I think that accounting and finance, while they work together, they're kind of opposite ends of the spectrum. Accounting is backwards looking. It's helping you understand what happened in the past, whereas finance is really about using that information, projecting the future. And that's where my passion lies, is strategy and using numbers to help determine what's going to happen in the future.
I love that. And it's so true. There's so many people stuck looking behind, business owners rely on what they think is a good accounting team, we'll call it, whether it's CPA, bookkeeper, CFO kind of roles. And it is very dependent upon whether they're looking behind and trying to fix something you did or save something that you did, or helping you forecast and look forward and imagine a better opportunity and get you in a better position. So I love that you chose the forward facing, because that's always been my interest as well in that.
Absolutely. And it's super important to have really high quality accounting information to understand what happened in the past. So that way you can interpret it and then either continue to replicate good decisions or eliminate the bad ones and make sure you don't do it again. And so it's a combination of the two that give you a holistic solution or a holistic foundation to run your business.
Love it. Love it. And yes, I'm sure you listeners, you've all heard this as well as Jeff and I have many times. Garbage in is garbage out.
Absolutely.
So you got to make sure that the numbers that you're looking at are accurately prepared for you and reflect what you really have done. So
that's right.
Awesome. Well, let's get into this a little bit because we're going to talk about some different stuff with accounting, not the traditional, go look at your balance sheet and your cash flow, but really trying to put together a process so you can make those decisions, right?
Yep, absolutely. The way that we envision accounting and finance within our clients and within small and medium-sized businesses, really the foundation and the hub of business processes. Everything that our clients do should be built around strong processes with the foundation in accounting and financial processes, and making the accounting system the source of truth, that hub of truth. So integrating as much as possible into your accounting system, or some people call it an ERP, to give everybody the same information that's high quality and as timely as possible. So that way there's not inconsistencies in interpretation, or there's not inconsistencies in numbers.
Love it. Do me a favor, define ERP, because that might be new for some people.
Sure. An ERP is an enterprise resource program or platform. And so it's a lot of small and medium-sized businesses use QuickBooks. It's a system of accounting, but also business processes to allow companies to receive financial information and disperse financial information within their business, so that way they can allow their team to focus on what matters. So it's kind of that financial hub.
Love it, love it. That's really important that businesses have one that they can measure the data that they need to look at, right?
Right.
So I have one company that I work with that, we're trying to manage inventory and get it right down to the bottom line of that. And then through that inventory, we can go in and figure out what is the cost of goods sold, actually, what's the labor cost with that applies to the building of the product, and all that data that, you really don't know. Okay, you bring in the product that makes the product. How do you make sure that it's classified correctly and done in? And that is all done traditionally with that ERP model, but it requires that initial setup so that it can be run properly, rather than having, just a box and saying, here's my income, here's my expenses.
That's right. Absolutely. And so the way that we see the world is that there's so much that can be done now through best-in-class technology that can empower small and medium-sized business owners to focus on growing their business. Most entrepreneurs don't start their businesses to be bookkeepers. They don't start their businesses to write checks and pay bills every day. They want to grow their business. They want to work with their clients and customers. They want to make those sales and grow their teams. And it's a lot easier now to build a technology stack that can support that lifestyle. But so many entrepreneurs that we work with, before we work with them, are doing things manually because they're just not. It's still, the world is still catching up to the new technologies that are available.
I think it's a little overwhelming too, right? You don't know what you don't need. And some of these programs are incredibly robust. And you're like, hey, I'm just a small store. I got a couple of employees. I got this many customers and this many products. I don't need all that. So instead of trying to find the thing they need, because it's almost a foreign language, they come back and they go, I'll just stick with my notepad or Excel spreadsheet that my brother's cousin made for me. And, that kind of brother's cousin. Still family. But I mean, that's what I see. And it's terrible.
Well, to defend the entrepreneur a little bit here, it's complex, and there's an oversimplification in the market. We see so many commercials for accounting software in the market and say, you can do this very easily. And it really takes a little bit of expertise to set it up right. They're very powerful tools that, when built right, can really support robust growth. But they need to be managed. It's not a set it and forget it tool. But partnering with the right accounting firm or bookkeeper can empower you to get the information you need without spending a ton of time rebuilding the wheel.
Well said, because first of all, I always preach, business owners, you have enough hats to wear. Yep. Please don't wear the accounting hat.
Sure.
Give that to somebody who knows what they're doing. Yep. And it will make your life simpler and easier. And then you could take the data that you receive from that and make really good decisions on that. So
that's right.
Yeah, that's always like one of those early hires that I coach to, is like, oh my God, don't do it yourself, and
sure.
And because there's too many holes you can get lost in. Yep. And put data in the wrong way, that, garbage in is garbage out. So
absolutely. And for us, actually, we like to think of the accounting and finance team as kind of the center or foundation of the business. And the first thing that we like to do and that we preach is defining the current process, designing the ideal process, and then mapping to get there. We really want to build an ideal process powered by efficient accounting and technology to allow all the different departments to focus on what matters to them. We want the salespeople selling. We don't want them generating manual invoices that need to get sent out and manually sent. We want the executives overseeing the business. We want the AR team getting real-time information as to what's outstanding, the payables team to have the right tools to interact with vendors to make sure that they're happy. And all this can be done pretty seamlessly with the right design of a process and the best in-class technology.
I love it. I love it. This is so empowering, because both you and I know that you really need to understand the numbers to make the decisions that you have to make in your business. But what happens when you get into these companies is that they don't have that information readily available. So then, at least in my space, we have to backtrack, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now let's go get it. And it could be months before we can take any action, because everything in there is such a mess.
That's right.
And it's really sad, because the opportunities only come to those that are prepared. And your numbers are where you're going to find out if you're prepared to be able to make that inventory purchase, or to be able to, make that hire that you want to make. If you want to explore a new market that you want to go into, all of that's based off of your numbers.
That's right.
Believe it or not.
Yep, absolutely. And what we've found is that by building the right process around accounting and finance, so much of the other systems and processes in the business become organized as well, because they see how organized accounting and finance can be, that if your accounting and finance is really at the hub of the business, then it directs how the rest of the business operates, because everyone else will kind of fall in line with the best-in-class technology, or the best-in-class processes, the processes that the company has defined that they're going to rely on to run the business and grow.
Okay, so you keep talking about best in class. Does best in class come with this ridiculous price tag, or is there best in class for us little folks that maybe can't afford a full rollout and NetSuite of thousands a month?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of small business accounting and payroll and payables and AR software out there that integrates. The big thing for us is the integration of the software into the accounting software. So that way everybody's all the systems are talking to each other, and there's one source of truth. So we like QuickBooks Online for small businesses. We also support Sage Intacct, which is a middle market ERP for companies that have multiple entities or have outgrown QuickBooks Online. For bill pay, it's bill.com, which connects directly into QuickBooks Online. So you enter in a bill once, you get it paid once, and it all syncs directly into the accounting system.
I love the emphasis on once, right? I'm sure many of us have gone back and said, oh, I paid that. No, I didn't. Or, oh, I paid that twice. twice? How did I pay that twice?
Absolutely. It's designing efficient processes from the beginning to do more with less. Our big thing this year has been calling 2023 the year of process, designing your business to be able to do more with less. That allows you to be more profitable and more efficient, and then allocate your resources to growing your businesses.
I just love that because it is so important. We were all pretty fat cats when it was, prior to 2020 and 2019. We had three people doing the job that one could probably do, but you were comfortable with the three, so you left them in there. Yep. And then like post 2020, in the COVID crisis, now everybody's like, oh my gosh, how do I do this? And
right.
and I think they're now as we're rolling through the years after, we're realizing, yeah, we can do this, and we can do it really well with less and be more effective and efficient using all the technologies that are available. So I love that we're focusing on the importance of putting the right technology and the right processes in place in your business so that you can run your business.
That's right. And the technology has really caught up over the last couple of years to empower business owners to be able to do just that, and to support them in refocusing their efforts on their business, as opposed to manual processes like paying bills, sending out invoices. The nuts and bolts of getting your reports done can be done a lot more automatically these days.
And because the technologies make it so simple, the business owner has a partner that helps them set up the process, make sure that they're reconciling correctly. But it's easy for the business owner to go in and press a button and print out a report and get the answers that they need, and then have that conversation with their partner and expert to make sure that they're making the right decision down the path. Not having to go, oh, can I get a report a week later? You're like, okay, here's my P&L. I don't understand this. And where can I go on this? And what about that thing there? And, oh, let me come back and get you another report. It's all there.
That's right.
It's all simple and easy for the business owner to use. That's once right. they get it set up properly with all those processes. So this is really revolutionizing, running your business without having an entire floor of accountants on your payroll.
100%. We can do so much more with less at this point. And at the same time, by utilizing the financial system as the one source of truth, not spreadsheets outside that are managed by a salesperson. We love them, but they're not a source of truth. They don't tie back to cash. They don't always tie back to an invoice going out. You don't have
where's the pay on that invoice, right?
Exactly. So by building the right process so that way you can utilize the financials as the source of truth, everyone's talking the same language, everyone's looking at the same numbers, and you can get robust answers and analysis a lot quicker.
I love that. So describe what you mean by the word hub of truth, or by that phrase, because, a lot of people don't think of their numbers meaning truth.
Yep, absolutely. So that's a great question. In the old days, you'd have a book of payables. Here's all, or a drawer full of invoices of things that you need to get paid. And sometimes there's an invoice here that doesn't always make it into the accounting system. You don't, if you needed to know all the bills that were outstanding, you'd have to go talk to the AP person, and they'd empty their drawer out on the desk, and you'd have to manually tie them out. Also, you'd have to have, if you had a purchase order, you'd have to go to the purchase orders person, and they would do the same thing. Well, now what you can do with the technologies that have caught up to the day, if you integrate all of these technologies into the accounting system, with one click of the button, you get complete information. And then you can have your AP person, you can ask them about why things haven't gotten paid, why certain invoices haven't gotten paid, because you've seen it. You see it directly into the accounting system. And instead of having to go search for things, it's really it's readily available right in front of your face with a couple clicks of your button. And so
I think we can even take that farther. It can be done. You could be driven in via the customer, by the vendor, by the job, or by the project that's being worked on. I mean, you can really categorize these things down so you can see exactly how profitable or costly that one job or that one, how much you're actually paying that vendor over time. So you can make decisions and saying, hey, how come I'm not getting that 20% discount when I'm sending you X, Y, and Z every month?
That's
Don't you think I get
completely,
a little something for that? Or I'm paying on time. Do I get a discount?
that's
Right.
right.
These are decisions that can be made when you know the data.
That's right. That's right. And when everybody is looking at the same data,
Mm.
so
Mm.
everyone, there's not confusion, there's not misunderstandings between team members. If everyone's going to the same place to look at the same information, you're gonna you're gonna reduce the amount of rework that your team's going to go through to reach the same conclusion.
Wow. Good job. Good
Yeah.
job. All right. So we've talked about products and we talked about software of sort and how that they can make your integration into your accounting system and everybody talk at the same language and make it all really simple. Give us some ideas on what that actually means for the business owner on the other side. So what kind of decisions can I make from this data?
Sure, absolutely. That's a great question. So by having holistic data that's readily available, you're going to know your real-time cash balance at any point. So you can know whether or not you can make that purchase based on the cash that you have, the receivables that you have coming, and then also the payables that are in your AP balance. You can do real-time cash analysis because everything's integrated. You can look at what your AR balance is and look at what the aging is to understand, hey, who are the customers that are falling behind and what services do we have coming up on the schedule? Should we make a phone call to our customers, say what's going on in their business that's causing them to pay or not to pay? Should we slow down our services and reallocate our internal resources to the customers that are paying? Same thing on the payable side. If you have a month that you're going to have a lot of payables due, maybe you need to adjust some discretionary spending so that way you can make sure that your vendors are happy that are continuing to provide you services, and you push back big purchases. So it's really important to have that information so you can make those big decisions and manage your business efficiently.
I love it. It is really important to make sure that you understand the flow that's going through your business, right? And it's not
Yep.
just cash, it's how much is going out, how much is coming in, what kind of projects, what are the interests that you're paying, what are the penalties that you're paying? Can you renegotiate an arrangement
Right.
because you're paying early or you're paying later and you need to pay later? So is there an additional fee with that? You never know until
Yep.
you have all of that data readily available to you.
That's right.
And I think even further, right? So in the smaller space, many business owners are worried about their hires, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, how am I going to pay? Cash flow or payroll is going to be troublesome. Oh, all the benefits and everything. With the right data, though, you can make that decision and see how it plays out in forecasting, right?
That's right.
So there's
Absolutely.
so many things that we can do with data to make decisions.
Absolutely. We can now also upload our budgets into the accounting software, see how we're trending versus budget to know, do we have the room in our budget to make that higher? How are we performing versus our budget? And are we ahead of budget, which gives us more capacity to spend and continue to grow? Are we behind? Where do we need to make cuts? Where do we need to reallocate resources to go close more deals?
I love it. And yes, where those deals are coming too. So if I understand correctly, pipelines can also be put into this. So where your potential business is coming in, right?
You can with the right build out, you can integrate your CRM into the accounting system. So that way, once a deal closes, it automatically comes in and invoices are sent out with the right construction. Definitely.
I love it. I love it. So again, this is just absolutely necessary, especially running a lean team, right? If you
That's
have
right.
a lean team and you've already gotten rid of some team members, or maybe you just didn't rehire some team members after the shifts that came along, this kind of system, these processes that you do and the integrations that you have make it so you could do more with less, as you said, and
Absolutely.
keep
And
overhead low. And
that's
I mean,
right. That's completely right. And also allow the team members to focus on what they do best.
Mm.
So many businesses that we work with have an office manager that is a jack of all trades and a master of none. There's sometimes a customer service rep. They're always the bookkeeper and payables person, but
And
maybe
a
that
little bit of
person
HR and
exactly,
a little bit of copy
exactly.
fixing.
That's right. That's right. And instead, maybe we can reshift person. Maybe that person is a really good customer service representative and they can close a lot more deals for you if you free them from the burden of some of the back office things that they're doing. Or you have the salespeople that it takes a lot of their time to generate those invoices to collect the revenue. Well, if you have a system that's built right, you get your salespeople selling all the time and they spend so much less time doing the back office work.
Nice. And I think one other thing that really caught my eye here in today's um uh diverse or dispersed workplaces, right? So you've got your accounting team working out of his home, right?
Yep.
And you're working out of a small office, and there's really no reason to have a desk and a chair and so on in the building, or they could even be offsite somewhere in different states because they're more cost effective that way. Having these kind of processes and so on really encourage and allow the ability to spread it out and work from wherever you need to, because it's all done on a system, right?
Absolutely. We support many clients as their complete accounting and finance teams, and we're a fully virtual firm. So it can be done and it can save a lot of money on overhead, and it can just free up the team to focus on what matters.
So this is actually really great. Hang on.
Sure.
As my throat starts to close. Excuse me. Where do we find companies that can support us like this?
So our firm is an outsourced accounting firm. We have experience building accounting processes for small and medium-sized businesses and then managing them on a recurring basis. It's becoming more and more popular and more available as the software has caught up to the market to find outsourced accounting teams. There is a difference between bookkeeping and accounting. We are a CPA firm. We're a team of CPAs. And so it's really important that a business owner knows who they're partnering with and knows what they're getting. Bookkeeping has been an offering in the market for a long time. Typically, that's cash basis accounting. You're going to get your numbers and it's going to reconcile to cash. You may or may not get a meeting. All of our clients get a meeting, they get insights, and they get visibility in real time and near real time into how their business is doing. So outsourced accounting or cloud accounting, as it may be called, as well, is becoming more of an offering in the marketplace.
And I think that makes real important sense too. Your partners that you rely on for guidance and information. With having a bookkeeper data entries, like you said, balances out your cash. There you go, off you go. So they may not have the capability to think future cast, right? How's this going to impact the taxes? How's this going to impact next year's payroll? How's this going to impact, the repayment of maybe an idle loan or something that you have available? Having the right team members in the right spot is really important too. And I think with outsourcing, it's so much more cost effective than hiring a full-time team that sits in your business location that you have to pay payroll and, taxes and healthcare and everything else on, when you can outsource that and then they work for multiple people at a fraction of the price for you.
That's right. Our value proposition is that you save money compared to an in-house team just off the bat. We bring the holistic solution. We also bring our market expertise to our clients. So we bring our learnings and what we see in the market for other clients to apply to everyone. So that way we can make sure that we are building best in breed and the best processes for your company. Additionally, we're not a single point of failure. In the most small and medium-sized businesses, they have one or two accountants that may get sick or may decide to leave or may disappear. With us, there's no single point of failure because you're engaging with an outsourced accounting team. You're engaging a team of experts that has redundancies, and there's redundancies in your processes and the expertise in your business. So you're saving money, you're reducing your stress. You don't have to manage people, and then you get hopefully the best advice to run your business to growth.
Those were really good things. Less stress, no managing people, good
Save
advice.
Money.
I mean, this is fantastic. So this is all the stuff that the business owner really truly needs. So that you can make really good, important decisions that help your company move forward, right? I'm always saying that if you're not growing, you're dying. You have to outpace inflation. You have to outpace the competitors. You have to keep up with your customers' needs and desires. And the only way you can do that is by innovating, by using the data and the information you have to make really good decisions to keep you out ahead.
That's right. Absolutely. Every minute you spend on accounting is a minute you're not spending growing your business.
100%. But you need the data to make those decisions to grow your business. So
100%.
All right. Well, Jeff, this has been really enlightening. And I love the idea that technology can play such a huge part in simplifying, something that many of us business owners really don't like or understand on more than just the basic level. So where can listeners find out more about you and Proseer?
So anybody listening to the podcast can go to proseer.co, that's .co/contact, and submit a contact us form. Let us know that you came through Marcia's podcast, Profit with a Plan, and we'll give you a free consultation to learn about how we might be able to help your business, how to improve processes. So I'd be happy to meet with any of your listeners to learn about their businesses and see how we might be able to help them save money and save them some stress.
Yeah, I love that. Save them stress out the door, right?
That's right.
Make it as easy as possible and get that data that you need. So thank you. That's actually very kind because, today's day and time, time is money, and a lot of consultants don't give away their time very, very often for free. So this is wonderful that you'll do a consultation and help them make some good decisions moving forward. So we appreciate that.
Awesome. Excited.
Yeah. All right, listeners, I hope you found a couple ideas to put into your business that will help you be more profitable. I know that managing the data, right? Everything that you've got coming in, what are your sales? What's the revenue? What are your expenses? It's all what drives the business. And if you can take that information and make really good decisions with it, you're going to be in a much better position. So I encourage you to take Jeff up on this offer.
Thanks.
Yeah, as I mentioned before, how would you like to boost your net profitability by 45% in just 30 days? Don't think it's possible? Check out my new training called the 30-Day Profit Booster. This quick and easy profit boosting strategy can be done without spending more money on marketing, hiring additional staff, or working longer hours. Go get more information at 30dayprofitbooster.com. And Jeff and I would love to hear your questions and feedback. Tell us what you think or what's scaring you or what software you're using today. Put it in the comments so we know, and we'll respond back. And then while you're at it, please subscribe. You don't want to miss future podcasts. You can always catch Profit with a Plan on any of your favorite podcast players. We're looking forward to more great profitable information on next week's show. So until then, make your plans and profit with them. Thanks so much, Jeff.
Thanks, Marcia.